We got married later in life, and so we just kind of assumed in our dating relationship that maybe it was too late.
I finally was at peace that I wouldn't have a child, I wouldn't birth a child.
When we first got married, I did want to have a child with my own DNA. But after we had Jackie, everything changed. People say, do you want to have real children? Well, they are my real children. There couldn't be any more real than they are.
I've had the Law Center since 2007. There was another attorney prior to me that ran it as a law center. But it really started out from a family who were seeking adoption services on their own, and they did it on their own. And they started many, many years ago. And that family ended up finding their own birth mom, and they were very good at it. So they created a model that is now Adoption Network Law Center. I meet with every single new client, actually right before they become a client. I get to talk with them, whether they can come in, if they're local, great, face-to-face, otherwise it's on the phone or via Skype.
I think once we went, when we went in and spoke with them and you realize that it's real people there that truly care, hearing all their experiences and all the stories and how many adoptions they've done, and in their office, they have pictures on the wall of hundreds of kids. So you get that warm, cozy feeling maybe this is real.
They'll have an initial consultation, and they'll have a second one to really go through the meat and potatoes of what their journey may or may not look like, but to help prepare them. I think it works both ways. They're looking for the right entity, and we're also making sure the prospective adopting parents are a good fit for how we work.
It happened when I was in a good situation. I was just a crazy teenager, and I didn't want to be in that situation, but I was. And so when I talked to my parents, they told me my choices that I had.
I was really, really scared because I was 18 and pregnant, and it wasn't something I'd planned on. So, I looked at all my options, and eventually adoption came into play. And I just knew when I thought of that option that was the right choice.
We talked to Gabriella's birth mother. She told us a story about how she found ANLC. And she was on a website to terminate. She was researching abortions, late-term abortions. And she came across an advertisement, of course, for ANLC. And my heart just sank, because I'm thinking, that's not just a thought that just comes. I thought, that's God. If there ever was God speaking to somebody's heart.
So when we first started the adoption process, it takes a little bit before it becomes real. It's not like there's, her belly starts to grow and you see that. So
I think when we first started the process, it was so much paperwork. It was like I made it my job every day to spend a couple hours a day, do the home study. The home study took us a long time. We had more hoops to jump through. So I think it started becoming real when we got matched.
And that's when it really, that's when it really hit. And I think that's really emotional for both of us.
And you almost can't breathe for a second. You're like, oh my gosh, really? It's really happening? Because part of it, you're going through the process and you're like, okay, the phone's never gonna ring. Part of you really feels like it's never really gonna happen.
And got on the plane and walked into a hospital, and she was in her little bassinet at the nurse's station, and I knew immediately that she was ours. We got there at 1 in the morning, I think?
Yep.
1 in the morning, and we sat and talked with them for 2 hours.
I love visuals, so I always think of it in terms of a triangle. And to me, the bottom two corners are birth parents, adopting parents, and then the pinnacle is that child, the baby. So that's what I refer to as the triad. And the commitment in the adoption field is really, yes, we represent adopting parents, but to me, it's really to all points of the triad. I had one particular family that had a long journey, a long struggle. And their birth mom had a very difficult struggle. It was a complicated legal case. We went into the courtroom and their little daughter kept connecting with me, and she couldn't have been more than 10 months old, maybe. And her mom says, you know, I feel like this was just meant to be, you know, why she's with us. And at that moment, that little girl just rested her head on my chest. I'm gonna get a little emotional because it was such a moving moment. She looked at me, put her head on my chest, and it was a feeling of, thank you, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Thank you for helping my birth mom. Thank you for finding my parents. I came back. It was almost as though I had been through some emotional rebirth myself, and I just felt like this is why I'm here doing what I do.
They were just like so available. I think that was a big thing, was they were just, I could always call them, they were there. It was like real life, genuine people. Yeah, I never felt alone, really. That was the bottom line, is I knew my birth mother was never alone and we were never alone.
The support we have built for birth moms, I think, sets us apart from most organizations. So one of the unique things that we helped sponsor was a birth mom retreat out here in California.
There's no other thing that can prepare you for this experience. So it's nice to have a birth mom who has already walked in their shoes, who knows those emotions, who understands the pain. A birth mom, you know, is carrying the child, and when she chooses a family, the family has to trust us for however many months they know us, okay? And then however long it takes us to sign the papers and finalize everything. And I know for a fact that no other agency, no other entity, no one else has this program.
And it's actually it's growing from other birth moms who now are coming back to us saying, I want to be a birth mom mentor, or I want to help somebody through this.
So at first, you know, when we first started our first adoption, we didn't know, like, do we want an open adoption? Do we want a closed adoption? Do we want a semi-open? Like, what's normal? What's not normal? Like, we didn't know. We really felt that open adoption was the way to go, which is obviously different than it was, 30 years ago, but we felt that it was the best thing for the child growing up, not having all those questions their whole life.
Open adoption is not co-parenting. Open adoption is the sharing of information.
One of my fears was that the adoptive parents would, not stick to their word and, end up closing the adoption and just, shut me out. I mean, I always say, like, you have to learn to love the adoptive family because they're going to be taking your place, and so I think that was really important. I mean, I can't envy them. I can't hate them, because it's like, then why am I going to give them my child?
A birth mom once told me, please make sure your parents know that adoption should be a home for a child, not a child for a home. And I found that I still have it written on my desk. I bring that back to a lot of people because it's about opening your heart to the process and trusting the process, but you can't be selfish about the process. You have to know, again, back to that triad. There's 3 points to that triad, and everybody needs to be included and respected in the process. I want every client to have a smooth journey, but the reality is I don't know what it'll look like. One thing I can assure them is that we will be with them every step of the way. We'll have the support in place. We'll get their questions answered. We will guide them, hold their hand, and God forbid something does happen that is a big bump in the road. We want them to feel like they know that they will still get to their destination.
The first time, it took 5 months, and we were matched, and then we had a disruption. And then we went right back up on the website, and then we got the phone call for our daughter. And we had to jump on a plane that same day and head out to Reno. We chose ANLC because of the people that were there, that we work with. I felt that they truly care about what they're doing. I felt like they cared about me and my journey.
And Scott always says that, so many people went into helping us, through, I'm gonna cry. Our adoption and their support. That she's almost like this whole community's baby, that everybody played a part in getting her here to us. And they're so genuine in what they do, and they love what they do. And it shows in how they work with you.
You have to be ready to take that step. That first step is, yes, we are going to build our family through adoption.
Without hesitation, you need to at least call ANLC. It's like friendly, they're honest. Because it's a law network, they're held to a higher standard than like a private agency.
I absolutely would recommend them. Obviously, the fact that we use them twice means that I trust them.
Having 2 kids at home is amazing. A lot of work. A lot of work, but it's, for me, is a dream come true.
Well, Gabriella just turned 1 year old, so, and we've had her since the day she was born. So yeah, it's just, I can't believe how fast a year has gone.
This is our life. This is our life now.
But yeah, I wouldn't change a thing now. It's totally worth it. Even on the hardest days, my husband will always be like, look, you have your 2 kids, we have each other. Who cares if everyone's in their diapers and screaming? It's okay. And I'm like, okay, it's all right.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
It just has to be,
Yeah.
family. Mm-hmm. It's not perfect, ever. But it wouldn't be a family if it was.
You hear the word law center, and I think people think it's just a stodgy law office. It is so not like that at all. And I do feel truly blessed to have the people that work here with me. Honestly, they are dedicated, compassionate, very passionate about what they do. I really just, incredible people, and they're meant to do this. I really feel that. And again, I don't think they view it as just a job. It's something they feel good about doing in their life.